What's up, Rebecca? How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, I could complain, but nobody really wants to listen to me. Other than listen to the podcast. Complaining, not so
Yeah.
much, but hey, before we dive into it real quick, got to pay the bills. So, Behind the Anvil is brought to you by Mike's Damascus Knives LLC, from everyday carry to kitchen knives and everything in between. So, not only that, but also knife making classes. So, how to find us? Go to mikesdamascusknives.com, Facebook, Mike's Damascus LLC, and Instagram, all that other stuff, or just plain Google it. So, Mike's Damascus Knives or Michael Peterson, and Michael Peterson from Utah. So there you go. All right, let's dive into it, Rebecca. Enough of my crap. On with your story and how you started your charity and everything else.
Yeah. You just want me to share a little bit about how I got started? I'll stop sidetracking. Um, we we started it probably 7 years ago. My sister and I decided we'd been cut and donating our hair for a couple times, and I started looking into where our hair was going. And I read a little bit, and every place that we had donated hair was charging the recipients for the wigs they were making. And so I sat there and was like, well, let's just keep our hair and figure it out. And now we have a wig artesian, they're called, the sewer, the constructor of the wig. And it's been really cool to learn about. And yeah, if I'm sure you'll want, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that works. So first, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you? Your background. I know you have a military background. Um, you like riding most motorcycles every now and
Yeah.
then. We see
Um,
pictures and horses and everything else. So, who is Rebecca? Well, pretend this is a blind date. And you're just trying to get me without the date part. Speed dating. There you go.
oh, heck. Wow. Um, I have no idea. I'm a little bit of a mixture of everything. I grew up in northern Idaho, moved to Utah. I spent my summers in Utah. My grandpa's from Sevier County, and I moved here in eighth grade. And then I hit the oil field straight out of high school. Then I hit the Navy straight after that. And then I've since then I've done everything. I've ran a couple marathons and just trying to figure out where I belong, I suppose. And lo and behold, I came back to Sevier County, and this is where I belong. So now I'm back in Sevier County and working on some goals here, and I don't see myself ever leaving again.
If Texas had our mountains down there, our mountains, I'd move to Texas. Texas is a great place and everything. So I don't
uh,
know why that just
they
popped
don't
in my
have
head.
public land down there.
Uh, in some places, not much, but that's okay.
Yeah, you'd
Still,
have to
Texas
know
is
people
awesome.
down there.
But hey,
It is. I
it,
lived in Texas for a little bit.
oh,
Yeah,
I guess that during the
I
Navy time,
did.
or
I it was during a previous relationship, and I went to one of the
ew,
schools.
relationships.
Yeah, so not. Anyways, I was in Texas for a little bit. It was a cool state. I met some really cool people down there. It's a different culture, so I like the
Definitely.
culture.
Hey, if they got wild pigs on their place, they'll let you come hunt for free. So, well, most
Yeah,
places will. We went and did that.
yeah.
So what did you do in the Navy, if you don't mind me asking?
Uh, Paperwork it says AWF, which on paperwork also says in-flight engineer on Boeing 747s.
Ooh,
However, to the civilian eye, I would just say I was a glorified flight attendant. Like, schooling. They push you through schooling and send you up in the air, and you gotta know what to do. Luckily, nothing ever bad happened, but
sounds like
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Sounds like a
it
fun
was
time.
it was
Oh,
fun. I got paid to travel, and I've always wanted to travel. So I loved the travel I got from it. Actually,
nice.
went all over. Yeah, it was fun.
So what's one of the most memorable places you visited?
Probably. Well, I didn't even leave the flight deck, but Malaysia was one of my favorite memory, I guess. we were flying the SEALs over there, and they were helping the Malaysia's military. But
Ooh.
before we could leave the flight deck, they had to have everything accounted for, like even down to the bullet. And so we were there for hours opening trunks and cases, but I got real bored. And my grandpa, who's from Sevier County, he was a frogman. So, which is why
Nice.
I went into the Navy. Yeah. So I was with the SEALs, and it was getting awkward. So I decided to start bullshitting with them. And I just said, so do you, and we were based out of Japan at that time. And so I said, you like, and I knew they had just come from Afghanistan, I think. And so I asked him, do you like this area of the world or that area of the world? And he just looked at me and he was like, definitely Afghanistan. I probably shouldn't be saying this on the air. Um, but I was just like, why? And he was like, because we get to fuck shit up over there. And I was just like, right, okay. And I was like, that's not who I am. Now I'm going to go, maintenance the engine again and carry on. Like, so just just the intent of it has stuck with me. Like, so the conversation ended at that moment. But yeah,
Hey, that's awesome. I've heard that before. And feel free to be who you are. I mean,
okay,
they give us so much. If it worst comes to worst, they'll just flag it and I have to mark it explicit. So if you cuss,
okay,
nobody worry. I think
roll on then.
YouTube keeps it. I mark it where you have to be over 18 to watch this on YouTube anywhere, not for kids. So go ahead,
Okay,
girl. Just hey,
all right.
you're a veteran, you're Navy. Go ahead. I mean, you ain't gonna say anything I've never heard.
Okay, good then. Then continue.
So,
Yeah.
so Japan, what part of Japan were you out of?
I was out of Atsugi for a little bit.
I'm not sure where that's at, but I'll have to Google that.
Yeah.
What, did
Um,
you like Japan? Get out and do much there, or just on base, or?
we got out. So I was never in one spot for very long, and we'd only have a certain amount of downtime. But I was there anyways for the duration I was there. I got out a little bit. My crew wasn't. We had to have Liberty buddies to go out on off base, and so I finally talked the crew chief into going out with me, and he's a pretty cool guy. But so we wandered all of no, this was in Tokyo. So this was in Tokyo, sorry. We went down out in Tokyo, and we were wandering everywhere, and we finally found a dive bar. So I would love to go back to that dive bar actually. They had banquets over there. I don't know. It's hard to find a banquet everywhere. I went and I found a banquet over there. So that was cool
Nice.
too. So I
I,
got out a couple times and got a banquet, so I was good. That's all it takes.
I definitely would like to. Japan's definitely on the travel plan someday, working
I
towards
would love
that.
to go back.
Especially
Yeah.
where they make their Damascus and they collect
Yeah.
the volcanic sand that's got a little bit of iron and they smelt it down and I'd love to go
Have
see
you
that.
heard of Toledo Still?
I have heard of that. Yes,
I went. So I went. That's in Spain though. So, oh, sorry, I'm jumping.
that's all right.
um.
Hey, we call them
Yeah.
squirrel moments, girl. This is not
I told you
this,
I've got squirrels galore. So, but I was in Spain for a little bit, and I have swords from. I went to their. I can't remember if it was their factory, but I learned about their steel making over there, and that's really good steel. Correct? Am I right? Like, from
I
what I
would have to
remember.
dive into it. I've heard it. I'm not 100% familiar. I mean, ChatGPT is a wonderful thing, so we could always throw it in
Yeah,
there.
it's what all their military made their swords out of, like a long time ago. So
Well, I remember hearing stuff in history, watching different things that there was sometimes some mention of Spanish steel was at the time, and those time periods were pretty good. Again, don't
yeah,
quote me on that. I'm just something just popped in my head from some. I used to watch
yeah,
History Channel all the time.
and it was
So
because of their steel. Yeah, so you
yes,
should add that to your list of places to go
Spain is
foraging.
on the list mainly because there's a lot of weird foods over there I want to go eat too. So. Um,
Yeah.
oh, speaking of weird foods, what's in your travels? Did you eat anything really weird? Or got,
No, I didn't start experiencing good food until I came back and realized all that I missed out on.
oh
Um,
no.
I know. Oh, so I need to
Especially
go back. I need to go back.
military food's probably sometimes not the best. So,
Yeah, well, actually, I did like the Thailand food. I ate the food in Thailand, and it was so good that one of the little ladies over there made us a whole plate to take with us, and we were getting ready to take off when we were doing all our checks, and I was riding in the back, and when the pilot takes off, the aircraft gets not level, and the plate was on the little table back there,
uh-oh,
and I strapped everything else down
but
but the
not the plate.
food, and I still to this day remember that Thailand food. I did try that food was amazing, and it fell over me on the ground, and all I did was I picked that food back up and restacked it and never said shit to anyone. And I even ate it because it was really good food. It was little rolls. I think it had cabbage in it, and I've never been able to get that again. Like, I've gone to Thai places around America, Western America, and it's not the same as that
All
little
right, let's
lady
break
who's
out the
probably been making
passports.
it for
Let's
her
go.
life.
You convinced me.
Yeah, I remember where her little house was, so we can go track her down.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into it, and then we can come back to circle back to some of your awesome stories here. So, I'm gonna. I did some questions here, so I can be
Thank you.
professional. So I can be a little professional. What is T14P? Am I saying that
Yep,
right?
yep. T14P.
Well,
It is just
let's go ahead.
it's just a local nonprofit out of Sevier County. It originally stood for this one's for Patty. Patty was my mother that we lost to breast cancer about 15 years ago, and that's where my sister and I have always donated our hair, and that's where we finally realized we could probably do a little more by keeping our hair instead of shipping it out. And now I've got all the women in the county sending me hair.
Nice.
And then we turned it to T14P just to give, I would say, more respect for everyone currently today going through breast cancer, and it affects everyone. And so we just roll with T14P as an umbrella today.
So, people that can donate hair or donate money towards this to help out. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of cost to help get these made, I guess, or
Yeah, on average, a wig, a medical grade, so we make medical grade wigs, and they're custom to fit each head that we've covered so far. On average, depending on the work, it takes $1,000 to $4,000 to make a wig. So we accept donations. We host a couple different events, and then we have like Venmo, and I'll run around and pick up checks or whatever, just in Sevier County at least. I like to travel, but did I answer your question correctly there?
yeah, that's. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
you don't relax, girl. This is like I
Okay.
said, go back and listen some of my stuff. I did get off on a tirade, so it's all
I
good. We're
did.
just
I
having
have been listening today.
like I
You've
said,
got
we're
some
just
good
having a
ones.
conversation. Just think that we're sitting somewhere having a conversation about this. So,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
so why is restoring confidence and sense of normalcy for so important for people with cancer, going through breast cancer, or any ladies going for any kind of treatment?
Uh, I believe this is important because when you have a disease such as cancer that attacks your body, the level of combat you have to do to retaliate against it, it'll fucks your whole body up. And so that from my experience, which is from being in the family of a breast cancer member, in our cultures and society as well, hair is a pretty big icon for females. And when cancer hits you and you're faced with, depending on the level, I'm not even going to say depending on the level. Cancer is cancer. So when you're faced with life or death and have to go through radiation and chemo to fight it, chemo, they're getting more refined in their medical field now, but for a long time, radiation is shooting through your whole body, or the chemotherapy is going through your whole body, not just the cancer cells. So it's not killing just the cancer cells, it's demolishing your body, and then they give you a break to go rebuild your body so they can attack it again. And through that, you're going to lose your hair, which not by choice. It's not your choice to lose your hair. And when your bones are hurting and your body's hurting, and then you look in the mirror and don't even have eyebrows or hair, a lot of these women have children. They have family, children or not, they have loved ones. And when you want to spend time with your loved ones, especially when you don't know how much time you have left, you want to feel as normal as you can because that's the life you want. So everyone wants a normal life. Cancer or not, we all want a normal life. But when you get attacked by cancer, you have no option of a normal life for that period of time. So we cannot change. I'm not smart enough to cure cancer, but we can work together to offer that little bit of normalcy to these women that are just getting their life blown up.
And it helps. I'm sure it helps. Of course, I shave my head a lot sometimes, or if I singe it off quite a bit. So, guys are totally different. I mean, unless you're really sensitive about your hair, I kind of there for a long time. Like, I wish I'd go bald, so I don't have to do hair cutting. That's just me. I'm a little weird.
Yeah,
So.
but when you're out looking on your speed dating approach, do you notice the woman's hair?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay, yeah. So I mean,
We'll go
hair
there.
is noticed,
But true.
and as much as and again, the type of woman I am, I have always tried to preach like it doesn't matter. Humans are beautiful no matter what. So every woman I've worked with, I don't want them to feel like and we have worked with a couple of clients that don't want a wig, and I don't ever want the vibe to come off of that you need a wig if you're losing your hair, because women can rock bald, and we are beautiful no matter what, and more beautiful as we push through our own trials and tribulations. That's the important of it. But something we can do together is collect hair and make wigs and give them out free of charge. A
So
little
what
bit of
make
help.
I just I had a question. It was back there in the back for a minute, and then it popped back up. What makes it a medical grade? I mean, in a wig. I mean,
Yeah. So medical grade so far is what I have learned. I should ask our wig artisan Matt. I learn every time I speak with him. Medical grade. So all our hair that we use is human hair that we've collected from our own donations. So medical grade is human grade. It's been treated. So Matt takes it and treats it. So it's like it's I don't know why been purified. So it's clean and sanitary.
cleaned and
Yeah, and
okay.
then where it's custom fit we take measurements, and then the type of the level of sewing that goes into it. So there are cheap wigs that you can buy for fun, and they slide off your head, and there's patches in them, and they don't let you can tell they're a wig when they sit on your head because they don't look as natural because of the way they're sewn or the way they're laying. But yeah, so just a little. It's I.
Little more process to the detail in order to be a
That's
little
it.
bit. Then getting somebody's dirty hair and all that
Yeah,
dandruff.
and it looks very aesthetically pleasing because it's real human hair. It's laid with the part lines wherever you want it, and the way it falls is very natural.
So how long you've had this charity again? I think you mentioned, but my brain probably didn't catch it. So
Uh, Rolling officially for about 6 years.
oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah.
So in that last 6 years, can you tell us a little share a story of someone that really helped and how this has impacted others around our community and elsewhere, or something that stands out by chance?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been able to get a wig out once a year every year thus far. Um, it's been a lot of fun. I have a crew. I have a crew that helps me put our events on and such, and most of them work out of a mine in Ely, Nevada. Their parents still live in Richfield and such, but anyways, one of the guys over there, also manages an apartment complex, and he had a cute old lady that was living there all alone, and he has rapport with her, and she vocalized that she was going to be going through radiation and losing her hair, and we were able to get her a wig, And I love every single client that we've met through this. But I just like the quiet people, I guess. And I really like the rapport I had with her. And it was really cool to see because she didn't actually expect anything. Like when she went and talked with Willis, she just was talking to a friend and brought up that, oh, by the way, I've got to go through cancer, um, and I love seeing their demeanor and countenance change, um, become lighter, I suppose, once they receive their wigs and realize again, I know it's a small task compared to what they are facing, but that moment has always sat with me a lot. Like, I just loved the sparkle in her eye that came from it all, I guess.
That's
And
awesome.
that gets addictive. So that feeds everything, and then you gotta keep rolling. So
Nice. You still in touch with her? Is she doing okay? Or
yeah, she's doing good. I should follow up with her actually. I'll have to
there you
give Willis.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for prompting me. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, no
and then
problem.
we've
Go ahead.
what?
Oh, go
And
ahead.
we've had a couple other women throughout the county, and then and you also asked I believe you asked how we've worked with the community as well. Have
Yeah.
on there in my head to check off. Okay. I think I'll let me say a few more times, but at our events, they're very I love, which is very addictive as well. Which I love doing this is I love seeing the community come together and work together at our events, and whether they have a table or they're bidding on something. I guess what I'm saying is we also offer a really wholesome environment for the community to come and be a part of something. And I have loved seeing that unravel as well.
And earlier this morning, I remember you telling something, mentioning something about a, motorcycle poker run. How's that work? How's that? I'm
That's
guessing
our
all the
big
money
thing.
that's raised from
Yeah.
that is to go in towards the charity to help
Yeah.
produce these wigs,
Yeah.
correct?
100% of whatever we get rolling goes to moving forward with this cause, with our mission. And so we have a poker run every year. This year it'll be out of Joseph, Utah, and it is August 22nd, and it's a day event. So we have breakfast with the crew and registration the morning of from 8 to 10, where we've got Los Texanos food truck coming over and serving breakfast. So they're always parked in the Napa parking lot. You can go and try them. I already know they're amazing. And then we'll have breakfast by them, and we'll go over the route. And this year we're going to be hitting up. So a poker run. Have you been on a poker run?
No, I haven't. I mean, I
Okay.
make fire pokers and I can run with them. I mean, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Probably not, but whatever floats your boat. We can
Hey,
roll with
yeah,
whatever.
right?
So we play, so it's a poker run, and so there will be five. Well, this year we're just asking local companies to be a part of our stops, to where the bikers will ride out over different routes, and they can stop at designated stops, and they'll pull a poker chip, and it's all by random out of a bag, and they'll have a poker card, and then we'll mark the chip they pulled, and at the end of the day, whoever has the best poker hand wins a prize. And
Nice.
so we'll be riding around the different local businesses drawing poker chips for the day.
Oh, nice. So you go around visiting. Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Um, so what is yeah, tongue tied. Don't feel bad. I get tongue tied all the time here. So don't.
Ew.
What role do I'm trying to read my questions here so I get it right. So I sound somewhat professional, but eh, it is what it is. Um, so what role do local business sponsors, volunteers, play in making your mission possible?
They play our financial role, and so does the community and all the civilians, because our crew orchestrates the events, but all the money comes from the community, whether it be businesses or people. And so currently right now I'm driving around talking with local businesses, and I like to shake your hand. So I like to know who's working. I'm old. I just like knowing people that I'm working with. So we offer sponsorship options, so you can sponsor our ride, which puts your logo or your business name on our t-shirts. So we have yearly t-shirts. You can sponsor at the $200, $300, $500, or $1,000 level, and there's different options. And then we also are always open to donations. We let our sponsors hang banners or have a booth if they would like at our event, and their money goes straight to funding our next wig. So that's just, we have the option to present to the businesses of being a sponsor or just donating and funding the next wig.
Nice. So what, I mean, do you mind if I ask? I mean, what does it cost per wig, do you know, by chance?
Depending on the length, the amount of thickness and style, it's $1,000 to $4,000.
Probably a lot of work. I'm assuming this is probably all, I mean, when they take the hair, it's probably in hand stitched strand by strand or.
First couple ones are made that way, and then our wig artisan found a way. Well, you can. I'll have to post some videos, but he was showing me the other day that he can line. There's new ways to make the wig faster and more productive. That you line the hair up with a sewing machine and sew it all together in
Oh,
one
nice.
run, and do multiple of those. Is what we're going with now. But they have sewn them hair by hair, and I cannot do work like that. Like, so it's blown my mind. That's every wig blows my mind because I don't comprehend the level of refinement and patience it takes to make a wig.
I could just
Because
imagine. I'll stick with hot
banging
steel and a hammer. So,
it and
um,
shit, yeah, yeah.
um, oh, I had a question there for a second. Oh, damn it. Um, so in the last 6 years, I mean, it's getting started. You and your sister getting this started and everything. What is some of the biggest challenges that you and your sister face with this organization and the nonprofit part? What are some of the hurdles that you've had to climb over or beat through?
Myself is probably the biggest one. Everything it's taken to refine this nonprofit has been like just pushing myself to grow, sometimes mature, acknowledge my wrongdoings, and then continuing. So besides that big speed bump, just oh well again, which is me like just communicating with people and working up the courage. Everything I used to say everything it takes to run a nonprofit, I'm not good at. I grew up, working my ass off for everything. So the first I had a notion to keep my own hair and make a wig and give it free of charge, but that does take funds. So when I started realizing that a nonprofit was forming and understanding the concept of what a nonprofit was, it's nonprofit, nothing is of profit. And I'd be working with the community, which also that has restored, I say it has restored my faith in humanity. So coming from someone who does not believe in handouts, to getting in, like, which there was never a doubt I wouldn't do it, but I remember having to, like, how can I ask people to do something that I don't really like? I don't know, but see, that's where it goes back to the community. And so as I've refined my communication skills, I would say, and my approach towards people, and being able to present them something beautiful to be a part of, it has really softened my heart and restored my faith in humanity. And these community members that are donating their funds that I know they have worked for, money is not free. And so when they donate their funds, it just shows me how good the community is and how much of an amazing thing we can do for each other when we do that. And so the hardest part of this has been myself and
Uh,
growing.
I get that. How do you approach something and it's a pitch. I mean, with me, I've done a lot of business pitches with reaching out to different YouTubers and such like that, or in certain trades, and
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
kind of scary. Like,
I mean, I'd rather do it over the phone call, but a lot of these people are busy, and you shoot me an email, if you're going to hear anything back or not, I've kind of reached out a few and
like
said,
that.
hey, I'm a knife maker. I see you got a merch store and such. They do a lot of hats and stuff like that. What do you think about we get together and make a simple line of knives with their logo on it? I make it, ship it, either I can ship it to them or I can just stack them in a box and then ship them out as the orders come in. Um, something like that, and it's that cold pitch is kind of hard. And I can just imagine, with charities and such, and you hear all the, oh, I'm at 501(c)(3), and a lot of people get hesitant because there is so much fraud in the charity world, unfortunately. And how much is that actually, you know, how much is that
Yeah,
dollar going towards the goal of the charity? Because I'm sure you've heard horror stories over the last few years,
I
especially
know firsthand horror story.
the
I know.
Leering centers, stuff like that. I'm definitely hesitant when people come up and especially with people I don't know. Um, I like to work locally with people around here. I've done a few things around. I've had to cut back a little bit because costs have gone up and everything on donations, which kind of sucks. But charity does begin at home, I guess you could say. So
Yeah,
um, I don't. If that sounds cold, I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
I
But
agree with that.
so I can
Everything.
understand the whole getting over that hurdle of, hey, this is what we do, and then people then sit there and like, oh, okay, how they're going to react, or even
Yeah, I've had to refine myself and communication skills. Yeah.
so. So you say you had to clean up the sailor talk a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The first year, my friend Nancy and I were going around looking for donations or sponsors, and I was walking into Cow Ranch down in Cedar City, and she like stopped me and she's like, Becca, and I was like, what? She was like, you need to smile. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, if we're doing this, you need to smile. Like, I am smiling, and she's like, no, you need to smile. And so I went from now I'm smiling now, but yeah, I went from like, hey, I don't even remember what I would say, but I wasn't smiling either. So
So
yeah,
basically, kind of all right, as they call it.
and just yeah, and just and when you speak with the community and greet them, and um the more easygoing you are, the more human you are with them, the more human they are with you. And I've met some very amazing people, and I have yet to meet anyone that has not been affected by cancer in one way or the other throughout this. So every single person I do start networking with ends up becoming someone special to me, because we start sharing our stories, and um, it just ties the community together. And I also learned that confidence is confidence, and so I will raise more money when I go in and shake their hand and look them directly in the eye and tell them what we're doing with the funds they choose to give us, instead of going in there not smiling and being honoring, So
Yeah. So if people are listening, they're like, where can they reach out to you? I mean, you got a website, social media? Is there a Facebook page?
we have a Facebook page called T14P. I'm working on a website currently. It's underway, and then I can I can share my Gmail, and I would be happy to sell my phone number. We're just a small town nonprofit. I need to become more established, but it takes funds. So we've
Yes.
just started cranking the
Small
wigs
steps,
out.
small steps. Try to keep that cost down much as you can.
Yeah, and
I
honor
get
the mission.
that. If you ever need some help with the website, I know somebody that helps manage mine can probably help you out there a little bit. So
I
I'm
would be
in touch.
interested in talking with them. I've
All
got a
right.
couple I'm talking to now, but I've got to figure it out. So
It's good to have multiple options here.
I'm they gotta know how to. I still talk pretty blunt, so as long as they'll listen to me,
Oh yeah,
we'll
it's Kevin. He House with a Knife
good
page
old
and
guy.
everything else. So yeah,
Okay.
trust me, he's got plenty of tattoos too. So he's
And if he's not honest, I'll run him off. I ran people off
oh
before.
he's honest.
Okay.
He's bluntly honest. Probably a little too
Okay
much.
then. Yeah.
Got a little bit of the ADHD and with a little bit of the tism and computer geek and everything
Perfect
else.
then.
So um so. Speaking of that, hair donations, how do they get hair to you? I mean, somebody across the country wants to, I guess,
Yeah,
maybe
so
donate money better. If they got some hair they want to donate to you, how do they get that to you?
we have a mailing address. Um, is it? I don't know if it's smart for me to share on
We can
this.
throw it in the comments. I mean,
Okay.
if it's published on your Facebook page, we can just direct them to there.
Yeah.
So,
And then reach out. I usually so we've been functioning very organically. You know, all our donations have come from people that we know. All our hair donations have come from people that we know, and all our wigs have gone to people that we know. And so I haven't so very much anyone is allowed, like, please reach out to me on Facebook. You know, our Facebook page for the nonprofit, or just me personally, and I can make it happen.
nice.
Get all the facts over.
Um, oh heavens, oh, I hate when those questions hit my head. Usually I blurt them out and interrupt, but I've been trying to
You
practice
can
on that
interrupt.
myself. Um, so what? Anything else you want to share on this? I mean, any thoughts? I mean, just at the end of the day, I mean, after going around meeting everybody, at the end of the day, what are you thinking at the end of the day after meeting everybody and such like that? So,
So very much through my growing pains, I have, like I said earlier, this nonprofit, this main event, I would love to expand to more, you know, but we have this main poker run every year that is our main event. But this has very much restored my faith in humanity. You know, so I came over and visited with you today and got a pet a horse. So if anyone's looking for a horse, he's got one for sale. You know, like, but just and again, the people that reach out are always genuine, and so um, it's like for I have I can go on and on, but it has
yeah, that's fine.
very
We're on a podcast. Go on, tell us stories.
well, it's just like the people who I run into through this when I go to bed, when I get home and shut down for the night and start thinking about it, I am always in a better mood because I run into people who again have their own personal stories. So on this mission of finding people to be a part of this, I run into people that I can share stories with, and they share stories, and that, you know, we have moments, um and they're amazing people. And coming back to Sevier County this time, a lot of these people, you know, I've known their kids, I've worked with their kids, they knew my grandparents, they knew my mother, they knew my father, you know, and just so yeah, when I end for the night, I usually am in high spirits because people are good. People are good, and that this has shown me that.
Now and then you post videos and pictures of you out biking. We're gonna switch gears here and kind of like get you a little less nervous and quit being so formal here.
Yeah,
Tell
sorry,
us
I'll
about your
stop being
motorcycle
professional.
days. What kind of bike do you ride, and what got you into riding motorcycles? Gotten from a
Well,
horse to a still horse, as they say.
yeah, yeah, there's a little more power there. Well, honestly, yeah, I went from a horse to still horse. If you think about it, you know, on an engine, if you do all the checks and you do all the work, you know exactly what you're controlling, and you know if it sounds off, you can listen to it and know probably what is off if you know the engine well enough. A horse has its own brain, you know, so you can train a horse, but at the end of the day, a horse is a horse. A
Yes.
bike, you're in full control of, and everything's on you. And I think I like that aspect. But my grandfather rode a bike. He had an Indian Scout when he was in the Navy, and
Ooh,
my grandmother
that'd be
eloped with
fun to
him.
have that bike.
Yeah, and my grandmother eloped with him in Florida, and then they rode all the way back from Florida to Utah.
Oh,
And
nice.
yes,
That's a hell
on
of a
their
honeymoon right there.
I know, yeah, people don't. Anyways, yeah, so that story's always been in my head. And when I got back from the Navy, Jesse and Stetson are two guys on my crew. They're from Richfield. They just know me, and they know that I do crazy shit, I guess, because we all just met up, and I was doing 5Ks for the nonprofit. We were just hosting virtual 5Ks, raising some funds, And they were like, you should do a poker run. And I was like, what's a poker run? And they explained it. And I was like, I don't even have a bike. And they're like, we can fix that. And I just got all my money from being in Japan, my per diem pay. So we drove up to Salt Lake and I bought a brand new 883 little Sportster with 6 miles on it. And I'd never even ridden a bike before.
Oh,
And then
nice.
I put it in the back of my truck and we brought it back to Sevier County and unloaded it in their house. And Jesse's and Stetson's dad took my bike on its first voyage before I even got to ride it. They're good
How
people, though. Great
rude.
people. Support the nonprofit. Yeah, they're hard workers, and the nonprofit would not be where it's at without them. But they taught me how to ride in the church parking lot, and I've been cruising ever since. I took a walk with Jesus one time. I'd been like 300 miles experience in, and I had a friend. I went down to Big Bear Lake and on the bike, which is through Death Valley. And I didn't plan. I just woke up and took off. I was living in Panguitch at the time. And so I just had one pack on me for enough clothes for the weekend, no tools. And so I
Uh-oh.
was going over Bear Valley. Oh, it was for July 4th. So I was going over Bear Valley, but it was at like 4:30 a.m. It might have been 5. It was before the gas station was open, but my hands were freezing. I didn't have anything, so I pulled in the gas station and
Hard.
they opened.
This story's starting to sound like hard lessons learned kind of
That's
thing.
how the only way to learn them. Yeah, the only way to learn them. But yeah, I got broke in. That's how I learned how to ride a bike was on my trip to Big Bear Lake.
I'm guessing you broke down or just you what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I went from freezing cold, not it was below freeze, like early mornings in Panguitch over Bear Valley in the wind is cold. And then
Yes.
by the time I got to Vegas, I'd already lost my air filter cover, broken one of my shoelaces, and I had to like Jimmy rig a new shoelace up. And I didn't pack any water either. So I was riding through Death Valley, and I learned which is dangerous. You should not do this at home, kids. But I
Yes,
just
kids, as you're listening right now, please don't be
yeah,
prepared. Voice quite much better than be.
yeah, things not to do. But in the summer I should have just prepared. But anyways, I was riding and I got a heat stroke. Like I was too hot, and I was dry heaving over my tank and like going blurry. But I knew that if I stopped, I didn't have any water. So if I stopped, I was deader. So like I gotta keep going. And so I learned how to ride, trying to keep up with semis and staying in their shadows. And they got to where they knew what I was doing and they'd like help me. And it was a pretty cool experience. And then I finally took an exit, but it was an abandoned gas station. And I was so effing like gone. I laid the bike over in some sand downhill. So like I finally got it up and made it to water. And I broke shoelaces again. And then while I was riding, though, the one song that came on that I remember to this day, I can't think of the artist right now, but it's "Give Me Some Water" because I shot a man across the Mexican. And that song came on, and I was like, "Really, God? Like, are you doing this to me?" But when I when I was at that abandoned gas station sitting, I'm pretty sure I had like a come to Jesus with whatever powers out there, and was able to get that bike up because I was dead, but made it. And so now from experience, I can advise you what to take on your trips. And there's a lot of shit you should take on a solo bike trip. I thought you could just jump on the bike and take off.
Not so much. So, Art, let's talk about that. So, tell me, from what you learned, what is appropriate packing for a solo trip like this? I'm guessing tools,
Yeah,
water, way to
tools,
build a
water,
fire.
nutrients. You're gonna want nutrients. Uh, yeah. extra shoelaces, and then you want the tools that are fit for your engine, like whatever you're riding, and not like a hammer and a saw. You're gonna want the right milliliter and the ratchet. And so I've been working on putting stuff together, and then extra shoelaces, water. I've seen people do like camel packs, and ice would have been nice. Gloves, extra gloves. Gloves protect you from bugs down to the weather.
Hey, there's your nutrients, just, June bugs, you
I'm
know.
not that badass. No.
Oh, that just reminds me of that's out of Dumb and Dumber when they're driving down the road and like, hey, you hungry? No, I had a June bug back there about a mile, 5 miles back. So just that just
I'm
popped in
so
my
glad
head.
you thought of that. Yep. For my
Right?
story.
I'm yeah. I'm full of dumb facts here. I mean, ADHD makes you remember stuff that's pretty
I know.
much useless. So
No, it's useful in the right moment.
true. Um, sometimes maybe I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Sometimes. So what was your destination once you got down there?
Big Bear Lake, which was a lake. I was meeting some other people on bikes, and they all were experienced. And I pulled up on the little 883, and they're like, "What?" I was like, "I'm here," and took a good nap.
I
That's an
bet they
11.
what was their reaction when you told them this story?
They laughed and made fun of me. Military just gives a shit. So it just made sure I knew I was stupid, which I was.
Oh, the calamari, oh my, calamari. Oh God, words are hard today. Apparently, it's Monday. It's definitely Monday. I've had one cup of coffee. Should have probably had
Oh,
two.
yeah.
Right?
Two is the minimum, yeah.
I know. I should have went with two. My bad.
Next
Um,
time. There's always tomorrow.
Besides that, what are any other memorable trips, unlike your first solo trip, that you probably should have been a little bit more prepared?
Yes, you should always be more prepared. But there's always fun stories that come from our poker run every year. So
Let's
there's
hear one.
always well, the first one that popped into mind, usually the crew gets together and we'll ride the route the night before just to make sure it's safe and good and ready to roll. And this was when I was still inexperienced, but we were riding on 89, and I think my glasses flew off, but my buddy Cody was right behind me, and I just thought he was a little ways behind me, but I just figured that my glasses probably made him wreck. And I pulled over and I was like, I can't believe that I lost my glasses while someone was behind me, like, oh, what am I going to do? But he picked them up for me and brought them up and gave them to me. And so I don't know why that story stuck out, but, oh, we've had some fun times on the rides. We've had to jump bikes, just, there's been one or two. I should share funny stories. We've
Oh,
had
sure, whatever you want, girl. I mean, it's all good. Good, bad,
Kim,
and
she's
the
on
ugly.
the board now. She's amazing. She's on the board now. She did not lay her bike down up in Johns Valley. She rode it out. I'll give her that. I saw her. She rode the bike out, but we're coming up on a turn, and things just didn't go as smoothly as would be nice. And she stopped the throttle and rode it out, and got into the grass, and then just kind of laid over. So that was fun to see, and I'm proud of her for riding it out. And then we always meet really cool people. So we usually have lunch up at Brink's Grill in Antimony. Um, Great fishing up there. If anyone likes to fish. Turkey hunting up there is amazing.
Yeah, they got
Um,
turkeys up there. God,
yeah,
what
they
is
do.
that lake up there by Anemoy? Uh, I'm drawing a blank. People have been catching some big fish out of it lately.
Oh, Otter Creek.
Otter Creek, thank you. I'm sitting there like I'm
Yeah,
drawing a blank. It's like it rhymes with a varmint. Otter Creek, yeah, they've been catching some awesome
you
fish out
ride
of
past
there.
that. I know. I know. I need to get out there and fish some, but maybe
So,
next week.
well, speaking of which, I mean, what's a good fishing pole? I mean, I imagine a full size pole is probably not the greatest thing to pack on a motorcycle. They got some really good collapsible ones. Good Lord, I can't talk
Yeah,
today.
collapsible ones, or I am not so, I guess I'm not getting graded on this, but I've taken my ice fishing pole out with me on the bike and, or
Hey,
at the
if
end of
it
the
works,
day,
it ain't stupid.
thank you, thank you. Or you can just take some fishing line and find a stick, but,
Hey,
and a
I
hook.
did that a lot when I was a kid. Made my own fishing pole, good long willow and a thing, and fishing we go.
Yeah, and then just take off when you're done.
Matter of
I'm
fact, we could. I'll have to talk to Brad see if he's got any ideas for making custom rods for bikers. I'll give him that idea.
Do
Uh,
it.
BC Custom Rods. Brad, he helps out a lot. Does a lot of
That would be
editing.
really cool. I also you should. I don't know if you make all sorts of knives. I don't know if you have a style unique for like bikers, potentially female
That's
bikers as well.
that's something I've been wanting to get into. I'm just not 100% sure what works for bikes.
So
I
I would want
imagine
one on my belt that I could grab and slice when needed. So just we should talk about it. I've already had some ideas. So
hey, I
well,
like it.
yeah,
Definitely.
easy access and yeah,
I got thinking about that like the blacksmith knife I donated to your
yeah.
cause.
Thank you. Well, that'll be at the raffle or the auction in August 22nd. So
Nice. I was thinking like something similar to that, something simple. You
yeah,
ain't gonna want something big and bulky.
nope.
I do make friction folders, pocket knives and such. We can go I'm having heartburn. For some reason, my lunch is coming back up wanting to hate me. Oh,
Sorry.
that's not your fault. I had barbecue sauce with it, probably a little too much pickle. I don't know. It's one of those days. Um, I probably should have had more coffee. It's probably my body's like, more coffee.
Yep.
Uh, so yeah, I imagine you don't want something bulky. There's some guys that like to pack the big buoys, think they're big badasses or whatever. But that's something I've considered. Hey, when you're going biking, you will probably want to be light. You don't want something when you're trying to make the curves and have it jabbing in your side or such. So,
Yeah. Well, and also just as a female, like I'll carry, but I don't like anyone knowing that I have the weapon because then they know what I have and they'll adjust their attack differently, So I think female riders will probably have a little bit different tune than a male rider. But I would want something small and compact and that I could just pull out of a sheath and not like a pocket knife that I'd have to hold on and pull out and then, but just short, big enough to do some, long enough to do some damage, but it's harder for females to conceal, so shorter. I don't know, maybe the handle could be some brass knuckles.
that's not bad. Well, there's also, I've been playing around with it. There's pocket knives you can hit the button and it flips it. They got a little
Okay.
coil spring in there and such. That's something we could look at.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of jokes that I'm keeping myself after the different sites. I don't say, shut up, let's keep it professional here. Sorry. I'm sure
Sorry.
you've been in the Navy. I'm sure you've heard a hell of a lot worse than I have ever thought about. So
Yeah.
we're trying
Yeah.
to keep it somewhat clean here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
let's
little filled
next time you
really
got
dirty.
time, come over to the shop. We'll sit down and see if we can sketch something out because I I know what I like to make. My traditional stuff is drop point hunter, EDCs, um, and most of them are more, I guess you would say, more tailored to men than women. That's something I've always wanted to do a little critiquing to get into that line of for especially lady bikers and such, and where to put them and how to, maybe just kind of grab and pull a little double fisted dagger or something. But
Yeah, that would be, I could sell that for you. Hopefully,
um,
potentially. Like I could run with that pretty good.
well, like I said, stop by the shops when you let me know when you got time, and we can. I'm no artist, but we could probably sketch something out. See
Okay. That'd be
what you're
cool.
thinking. So, long as it's not a big mechanical thing, I'm probably I like to think I can do about most anything within the reasons of the tools I've got. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. I think everything you've already made, there's more expensive stuff you've already made compared to what at least I'm envisioning currently. So yeah, we can get it
well,
done.
But yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, just let me know. God, I'm trying to think. So, back to your military Navy days. So you've been to Japan, you've been to Thailand, you've been to Spain. Where else have you been?
Should have. I did not care at that point in my life to keep a record of my life. So, uh, Guam Island. Wake Island's pretty cool. Have you ever read about Wake Island? That's
I've
probably my favorite island.
I haven't. I've heard a little bit from different documentaries about Wake Island. Now that
It
Wake
was,
Island wasn't that the island the Japs attacked after Pearl Harbor?
yeah, it's needed as a fuel stop to get over the Pacific Ocean, and it's gone back and forth between battle with Japan and America, and they kept refugees there for a while until we were able to get it back and free them, and we currently have it now. But there's just a little bar over there. Like there's only like 4 people that live on this island year round. So I loved
I
it.
think that's I think that's kind of yeah, because if it's what I'm thinking of, have you ever heard of the guy he calls himself the fat electrician? He's a former military medic, I think National Guard at OL. I'll send you a link about the Battle of Wake Island. That's what I
Yeah.
remember from. That is impressive shit right there with the Marines that was on there. This is back before the Seabees were formed. They had a bunch of civilian contractors, and I think that's what kind of gave birth to, if I remember correctly, that's what kind of gave birth to the Seabees and
Okay.
such.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So,
That'd be really interesting.
tell us a little more about it. Why find that real quick, and I'll send it to you. But if I don't do it right now, I'll forget. So,
You want a little more?
yeah, detail
Um,
on Lake Island. What? How long were you there?
that was like a stopping point for us. So I stopped there a lot, and I got to know the 4 people who lived there. They get 2-year contracts out there as civilians, and there's no storage or anything. So they got to where they'd ask me to bring them some things here. Like one of the girls really loved Reese's peanut butter cups, but you can get them out there, and their supplies would come like once every 6 months, you know. So I looked into doing that work after I got out, but they don't have a veterinarian out there, and I have a dog, so can't go because my dog might need help one day. But it's open for civilians to do if anyone's interested in living on an island with only 3 other people.
Sounds kind of
Um,
fun, actually. The only three other people to deal with on a beach.
they've
Hmm.
got banquet, yeah, on a beach, a tropical beach, you know. So,
Yeah, that
but
I'll have to find it, but it was listen to that story. They held off. I think they only had like two or three 5-inch guns. They were holding off the a basically a small destroyer group of Japan during World War
oh,
II. It was shortly after Pearl Harbor was attacked, but it was definitely like you said, you'll like it. He's got
yeah,
a lot of awesome. Here we go talking like military history and different people that's
okay,
played parts in it. This one recent one he came out with was a guy who wrote. He was out of World War II. Was one of the highly decorated guys. I guess you can kind of say back in the when I guess you can consider him kind of a ranger at the time. Um, and he wrote a book afterwards that was very controversial back in the day and everything else because he
oh, I
pulled
bet
all
it was.
sorts of what's that?
I bet the book was, if he wrote his own book, I just bet it was controversial.
Oh, it was like something no apologies, and then they changed it to something else. But the one battle he was in, holy shit. Um, but I'll find it later and send it to you. I'm sure I remember before I get distracted here. But so where do you see your charity in the next few years? I mean, what's your goal to reach over, let's say, the next 3 years? How far out you trying to, besides just our area? Are you trying to go nationwide or just keep it local and simple? Or
Have to talk with the board and see what they want, what they want to handle. I would actually, um, where I have moved around a lot, I do have some really good friends that have supported us that live in other states, like Idaho, Nevada. North Dakota, and so I would love to see, and maybe a couple different events. I've been dreaming up like a river run in northern Idaho. There's good fishing up there, so but I know a couple
Idaho's
people up
beautiful,
there.
especially on the eastern side. You get over towards the west, it gets a little dull and dried up. It's
Yeah,
for
the north part though, in the Panhandle is gorgeous. And there's some pretty good biker routes up there, and the community up there is open, so that makes a difference. So I suppose in the next 3 years, I would love to see it grow at the pace that we can handle, and we like these events are just a blast. I love the people that show up; they're amazing people. So I would love to have a couple other events just because it makes the heart feel good, I guess. And so we've been looking to expand. And I always tell the board they're welcome to throw out whatever event they want to do too. I'm always open to new ideas. We usually do have a 5K. That's virtual. So I would love to ride some other routes around America though. It
nice.
would take some planning, some coordination, but
Have you ever heard of the Tail of the Dragon out there in Tennessee?
no, I haven't.
I'll look that up when you get a chance. I guess it's got like 138 different turns in it. There's a lot of
Oh,
biking.
I have. I have heard of that.
I got a few friends that's riding up that. I've watched videos on that. No, thanks. I came out on 299 out of California in a truck one time, and that thing was bad enough. By the time I got half through it, I'm sitting there going, "Oh, I'm dizzy," because it was do do do
Yeah,
do. I could just
it would
imagine the
be.
Tail of the Dragon. I mean,
Do they
299.
ride bullet bikes or cruisers on it?
I think they ride up a little bit of everything. There's cars. Well, I mean, there's all sorts of. Um, it's crazy. Go pull up some videos on that with people riding it and such.
Okay.
They got some really tight turns. You definitely don't want to take a semi down that. Um,
Yeah.
it runs from like part of Tennessee down into North Carolina, and I hear it's pretty country. So there's you a challenge there for your bike. So
I'll think on it. I'll talk to the crew, see if
there
they
you
want to do
go.
it.
I if you do end up going out there, I have a friend of mine who's carrying some knives. Mandy, her name's Mandy. She runs Dragon City, a little. I think it's got little rooms. I think she does a charity of veterans.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, she's pretty cool. She, little cafe, little stop and rob type thing with some cabins, and then she's also working on making mini homes for homeless veterans and such in
You
the
might have to
area.
give me her contact.
Yeah, I'll shoot her Facebook over to you. I'm trying to get her. Been the last year trying to get her on here and interview her here on here as well. I just sent some knives out for her store. She is a busy girl if all the traffic goes on there.
Good. Busy. Well, that's good for like good business.
So well, I don't want to bless your time up. I'm sure you got a little bit more to get done today. So let's wrap this up. Again, give us a shout out to where they can find you, your social media. I know you said you're working on a website. Once that gets up, let me know. We'll plug that as well.
Yeah. So the social media are for the nonprofit is just T14P, and my name on Facebook is Rebecca Dawn. So find me, give me a shout out. I'll talk with you. I'll get you my personal number once you reach out to me on there and stuff, and get you mailing addresses or whatever you need.
Awesome. And if do you have you said you had Venmo or where else that
Yes,
people can just
Venmo is
send?
T14P as well, and I can post the QR code below if you do that on this. I can send it to you, and you can.
We can either that or just send me the link to it and I'll add it into the
Okay,
description. I'm not
sweet. I
100%
can do
sure.
that.
I'll have to talk to Brad because Brad can add that in. Maybe we can do a
Your
little
computer guy, good. I don't know how to do
yeah.
it either.
I can turn this on and hit record, and that's about it, and sit here and ramble off.
Yep.
So, and then here a quick question. Other than fishing here, did you get a chance to go fishing when you were over country?
No, um,
Oh,
not over country. I fished a little bit in San Diego, but
that's where my grandpa went to boot camp in World War II. He was a medic in the Navy, attached to the Marine Corps in the Solomon Islands during World War II. There
oh
were some
wow,
interesting stories.
I have
So,
no doubt.
We
Those battles are way different. It was a different world back then.
we got this picture of out at the farm my dad's mom and dad got. It was 163 man in his company that graduated. Only three of them made it back out of that whole regiment
One
there.
of them.
Yep, and Grandpa was one of them. So, yeah. Uh, I remember Dad was telling a story. They were one night they were out fishing. They'd go out spear fishing out in the ocean. They have one of these little boats, and they go out and they kind of shine their lights and such. This one time they hit something, and it must have been the only thing I could think of is maybe they hit a major giant stingray that I guess it blew water out on both sides of the boat and everything else, and then started dragging them out to sea, and they couldn't get it to slow down. I think they ended up have to cut the rope. It dragged them quite a ways out there, out in the middle of the water there. But
Wow.
and I've seen pictures of manta ray, huge manta ray down in that area, and pictures that people have caught and such. So I can imagine that's probably what he got. Kind of
Yeah,
crazy
that's
stuff,
really neat. That would be a trippy story to live through.
right?
Just
And there's a
wondering
few.
what is pulling you out to sea.
There's a few stories that Dad can remember that Grandpa shared. He passed away when I was like 6 years old, so I didn't get to hear those firsthand, unfortunately. But
Yeah,
when he came back from World War II, he was stationed out of Jacksonville for a few. And that's where I met my grandmother, and they stayed down there for a little bit until they moved back home here and back to Utah. So, but all right, girl. Anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
I'm good. Unless, yeah, I'm not that I can think of. Thank you
All
for your
right.
time and talking with me.
Oh, hey, not a problem. Anytime you want to come on here, you got something to share, or if you want to get everybody together, we can do a kind of round table. We can meet up somewhere, and I'll bring the camera, and we'll just set it up, and I'll sit off the side, and everybody can
That would
just
be,
sit there chitter
that's a
chatter
good
about it.
idea. Yeah.
So, all right, girl. Well, hey, as we say in the shop, stay sharp, America, and don't keep that bike right up.
Yeah. Keep two wheels down.
Hey, right? Keep the rubber end down for sure.
Yeah.
Just remember, there's only one King, and that's Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Check her out. We'll drop some stuff down the links here and everything else. Stay with me right after I hit this end button here. But yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Gotta love computers. Anyway, stay sharp, America, and we'll catch you next time here on Behind the Anvil. So, yeah, we're out.